Yes, so good morning, all the doctors. Thank you for joining today. This will be the final session of the series of telemedicine live sessions. Uh, Myself, Dr. Piyush Juneja, founder of IndianMedhyas.com. I welcome you all and thanks to all of you for being with us from last 4 days and taking this journey of completing the telemedicine guideline, the detailed discussions, queries, and hope we were able to resolve the maximum queries. We will have some dedicated query sessions also after this, and we have a couple of more team members in our core team. Let me check if they have joined right now. Yes, so Dr. Pinky is there. So I would like to inform all of you that Dr. Pinky will be taking another series of these live sessions. She is well versed with the telemedicine guidelines and she was helping all the participants in the morning and evening session also for taking queries. So, and we are getting so many requests. We selected morning and night time, but many doctors are looking forward for afternoon time as well. So we have like we are thinking to have one series with Dr. Pinky. I have not discussed with her till now regarding the time. So, Dr. Pinky, I will be discussing with you, and we will soon announce one more series of these live sessions, maybe in the afternoon time, so that doctors who are not able to join and want to take it forward, they can join that, and maybe all the participants present here can inform their seniors, juniors, and batchmates to attend that afternoon session with Dr. Pinky regarding the telemedicine guidelines live session. So we will be starting that soon. Now, those who have joined and will be completing the final session today, all of you are requested to visit and to revise the entire sessions once. We'll be uploading session 3, 4, and 5 today only. All these three sessions will be uploaded maybe maximum by today afternoon, and you will be getting notification. Hope all of you have downloaded the mobile app. If not, please do that. One more addition to this is first of all, create a profile on the website. Today we will have a session like discussion on telemedicine portals also. So we will get a better insight on that. So and by the way, a very nice and like very important update I want to share with all of you, and all of you will be pleased to understand this. See, we started Indian Vadyas in October 2019. I remember on the first day of Navratra, we started IndianVadyas.com, and in fact, today morning prior to session, I was reading the requirements as per the CCIM document of these guidelines. So there are some requirements of all telemedicine portals. You all will get to know in a while. We'll be sharing the slide with you. And there is an interesting thing which I discovered that IndianVadyas.com is already compliant to all the requirements which they have mentioned. IndianMethods.com is already compliant to all the requirements which are mentioned in the telemedicine guidelines. And also, I'm like updating all of you that many telemedicine portals, like general portals, which have all the pathies doctors, and some specific portals which have only Ayurveda doctors, many of them are not compliant right now. Many of them are not as per the telemedicine guidelines by the CCIM. They have some issues regarding that. I don't know, till now they have not updated or they are not aware about these guidelines. But as soon as it will be mandatory and the certification and the registration will be there, However, technically these are mandatory today as well. So I request all of you to ensure that whenever you are registering to any telemedicine portal, that is compliant to the guidelines. And if not, you should inform them, because see, there is a provision in the document that council will ban, blacklist those sites, and all the profiles will be deleted, and your profile will also be not there. So let's understand this. You have invested your time. Sometimes they are paid also. Sometimes they are asking commission and they are asking to buy products from them. They are the commission agent or the agency, and on that return they are listing you. So these kind of models are there, either paid or commission from the products, or some are free. Like we are free. We are not either charging any amount, or we are also not asking any commission for the purchase of your clinic medicines. We are not bonding you to purchase from us, and then only we will be listing you in priority. That is not our model. But some sites are doing that. So now you need to understand that you have invested your money, your time, and you have created a profile, and you have ensured that your profile is in good ranking on that site. And suddenly one day you realize that site has been banned by council, site has been blacklisted by council, and the entire effort and the entire investment will go waste, right? So this is a very important aspect which you all need to understand. Till now, many sites are working as per their model, but now all the sites should be working with the council, with the board of governors, I can say now, in their model. And if some site is not following that model, they have to be blacklisted. They have clearly mentioned. We will understand in the presentation today. So my request to all of you is, you will learn the basic criteria today, judge those sites on those criteria. If they are not compliant, write to them. In fact, I will request you to first write to them, request to them. If they are changing their model, that is fine. If still they are not changing their model, inform all the other doctors. First of all, delete your profile from that, and inform other doctors also to delete and to withdraw, because they will be blacklisted if they are not changing. They will definitely be blacklisted at certain point of time. Also, you can inform to council, the board of governors also. So it's our duty, because there are so many sites, and we will try to inform you. But the business model of our is, technically many of them or all of them are competitors for us. So they will see this as a competitive strategy, or maybe a thing which that we want to defame them. Our intention is not that. Our intention is not that. In fact, we are saying, and we will be writing to all the sites for, I think they may are not aware right now, they are not updated. So we'll be writing to all the sites, first of all, requesting them to be compliant as per the council guidelines now. If they are doing, that is fine. If they are not doing, that is their issue, and they are subject to get blacklisted. So let me quickly go to the presentation, and that will make you understand more about the aspect which I am talking about right now. Just a second. Right. Okay, fine. So all of you are able to see the presentation. And quickly, just one or two can confirm that you are able to see the presentation. It is in the right. Fine. So telemedicine live session, chapter 5, 6, and annexures. Uh, yes. So these are the guidelines for technology platforms enabling telemedicine. Very, very important slide. See, our aim in Indian Vaidyas are always to ensure that all of you are getting good income and good revenue out of what we are able to share as far as the learning and knowledge is concerned. This is not a knowledge platform. This is not an only knowledge platform. And we never intend to just talk or deliver classical text knowledge or that kind of stuff. There are so many platforms which are doing so. So we never intended to do that. Our intention is always to give you empowerment in terms of knowledge, Audio is not coming. I think audio is fine. So if it is not coming, just a second. Let me check that you have dialed in or not. Dial in via audio device. Audio is fine. I think some doctor is saying that they are not able to. Let me see that there. Yes, I think they have not dialed in via audio device. No? So Dr. Neha and Dr. Kailash, they both need to dial in via audio. Right. So just a second. Yeah. So I was saying that see, our intention is to ensure that all of you are getting good revenue and good income at the end of the day. This portal has been launched, and our entire intentions are for that only. We are at a zero level right now in terms of, but we have the plans. We have not yet started. By the way, let me inform you, all this is the homework which we are doing. All this is the testing and I can say net practice we are doing. And all of you have not been exposed to the entire society. See, what happened was when we started in October, we thought that at least within 6 months, we will have a good quality number of Ayurveda doctors and then we will expose to the society. And after that, this lockdown happened in March. Our target was in April to launch all of you, and then these guidelines and all these issues are there, and all of you are aware. Due to lockdown, many companies are also getting impacted and all. And our model is we are not charging anything from Ayurveda doctor. Neither we are imposing any commission on your medicine orders, or we are not bonding you to purchase from us. So our business model is to get some support from the pharmaceutical companies. So now they are coming up, and maybe we are cracking some good deals with them and that deals are from their marketing budgets, not from the commissions of the products. They have promised to give the maximum discounts to the doctors in terms of the products are concerned, and we are already connected. Last check, I have seen more than 1,000 now. The count is more than 1,000 doctors we have connected to various Ayurveda companies and organizations, and they are enjoying the maximum discounts. Let me inform you, they are enjoying a very good discount these days. So all of you interested in getting connected to these companies, and we got this feedback that these kind of discounts were not there previously, and few of them realized that these mobile applications or portals were charging 5 to 10% as their commission, and the lending discount was bit less. It was bit less, 5 to 10% was the difference, general average difference. 5% also matters. If you are sitting in a revenue of 1 lakh, 5% is 5,000, and in a month, in a year, it is a 60,000 amount, which is a very significant amount, at least for a small clinic like mine. Maybe you have a big clinic or a big setup, and you don't mind spending 60,000 in a year, but I will mind. So that's your choice. Still, I request, if you can save, you have to save money. So my point is, now in these guidelines, uh, in these like many doctors are asking how to connect. It's very simple. Just share your concern in the mobile number. I will share the mobile number in the last slide, so, or either email id. So just email us or just send a WhatsApp on the mobile number that you want to get connected to these companies, and we will connect you. If you have any specific requirement on any specific brand or any specific pharma company, you can write the name of that company. We will specifically connect you to that. Otherwise, in general, we will send your details to all leading pharma companies, and they will be connecting you with the reference that you are from Indian Madhyas. So they will have the maximum discount policy for you that we haven't discussed with them, because we are connecting them with thousands of doctors. So they have agreed that the maximum discount generally they are giving to their stockist or distributor, or the maximum discount they can directly pass on, will be there for you as well. Right. Now let's start with the session. So the guidelines for technology platforms enabling telemedicine. So this section will cover the technology platforms which work across a network of registered medical practitioners and enable patients to consult uh, the doctors. So there are specific aspects. Let's understand one by one. So the first is technology platforms like mobile applications, websites. By the way, they have specifically mentioned about mobile applications. So there are some models and some companies and some organizations. They have launched themselves as mobile application. Now they are focusing on website also because they have understood the power of .com now. But we were clear on the day one that we have launched first the website because .com and the search engine presence is the most important to generate revenue. Yes, for knowledge sharing, you can have only mobile app, which many platforms did initially, that they were focused on knowledge sharing. But for telemedicine and this thing, you have to be on the Google so that if person is searching, generally patients will search Ayurveda doctor in so and so city, Ayurveda treatment in so and so city and all. So that thing has to be supported by the website. So they have clearly mentioned about mobile application and website. And so providing telemedicine to the consumer shall be obligated to ensure uh, the obligation is there. They have to ensure this. Means this is legal. This is legal binding thing. This is legal mandatory thing. This is not optional, by the way. So they have to ensure that all the doctors listed on their sites are registered medical practitioners, duly registered with CCIM or respective state councils, and comply with relevant provisions. So first of all, the doctors, like many portals, are not having technical doctors. I have seen uh, many portals are not having technical doctors. They are having non-medicos and these kind of stuff dealing with the telemedicine on their website, which needs to be stopped now. So they will be stopping there. Second is very important point. 5.2 is the most important point in this slide, and it is also important for all of you. So please have an edit check. Please prepare your checklist and see that if that particular site on which you are available are doing this or not. By the way, we have finalized one session in this week for all the sites. We will do one by one review for all of you on our criteria, and it's, by the way, it's not our criteria, it's the guidelines criteria by the council, by Ministry of Ayush. So we will have a checklist for all of you, and we will also have a session in which we will be reviewing all these websites and all these telemedicine portals, and then we will share the top 10 best sites for you so that you all can list at least 10 sites you can list, and you can grow as a telemedicine consultant in Ayurveda. So the telemedicine platform shall conduct their due diligence before listing any doctor on its online portal. Platform must provide, please listen carefully to this and have a note on this because this is very important. Many sites are not doing this particular aspect. I will tell you why. So platform must provide the name, the qualification, the qualification, the registration number, contact details of every doctor listed on the platform. I repeat, name, qualification, registration number, and contact details of every um doctor, every ASU like registered doctor on the platform. So these are the mandatory things which we all need to ensure and which we all need to see that this is available or not. Because see, if somebody is not compliant and if somebody is not taking care of these aspects, the entire thing will be in question. The entire thing will be in question. So I request all of you to ensure that this aspect is being covered by all the sites which are offering telemedicine consultation or positioning themselves as telemedicine portal. Please ensure this, and this is very important. So what exactly actually many sites are doing, they're hiding your numbers. What exactly the many sites are doing, they're hiding your numbers. And why they're hiding your numbers? Because this is their business model, that they will be either charging a commission, from the patient's amount, or they are also ensuring that they will be having a business model in which you are paying something to them in terms of your listing or this I can say commission. and then they are like giving you these kind of results and also that kind of business model is there. And we need to respect, first of all, I'm not saying that business model should not be there, but the point is, we need to understand, and accordingly we need to take it forward in terms of this kind of aspects are concerned. So my request to all of you is, please have a look on this, and please ensure that you are compliance to this kind of aspects, which we need to take care in the scenarios. So you can start posting your queries. I think I'm getting some queries right now in the chat. So you can start posting on queries. See, registration column is there when we asking you about the registration. So we are asking the registration number as well. I have already informed my developer when I was reading this in morning to publicly show that as well. Soon we will be getting that. Otherwise, all the other aspects we are already there as far as our site is concerned. So, and if you are not, one more suggestion in this is, when you are doing your profile update, and when we are asking about me, you can mention your registration number in that as well. When you are writing about yourself, there is a section in which you are writing about yourself. So you can write your medical registration number also along with that, like or maybe in the section of experience and all. You can write that. So overview is there, and so that is, there are many sections in which anywhere you can write. So it is on your aspect as well, but otherwise we have also asked our developer to take it forward. So that is our also intake on this. Otherwise, in all other aspects, your mobile numbers are listed publicly. So that is fine, and all the other aspects are there. So my request to all of you is, please ensure that these aspects are there on all the sites where you are listed. My again request to all of you, please ensure, because see, these are the mandatory things, and if you can read the last line, that if these are not there, if these are missing, just a second. Yeah, so if these are not there, these are missing. In case of non-compliance, in the event of some non-compliance is noted, and the technology platform should be required to report the same. First of all, see, the non-compliance can be on the end of doctor also. So the technology platform should first of all inform doctor and then council also, if it is not getting resolved. Otherwise, if there is some issue, they can clarify with the council. But the point is, they have to oblige and they have to follow as per the guidelines now. And one more aspect is artificial intelligence. So what is going on these days? People are trying to sell their products online, positioning themselves as Ayurveda products, and they are also using artificial intelligence like chatbot. That if some patient is typing any question and they are getting some answer, so that kind of stuff is also going on. So they have clearly mentioned that no, this is not going to happen, and this is not required as far as the uh, this new guidelines are concerned. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, chatbot in terms of the uh, uh, website is concerned, and automation, they clearly said that no, this is not going to be happen as far as these guidelines are concerned. So only an Ayurveda IASU RMP is entitled to counsel or prescribe. So a doctor has to be interacting with the patient. So it's not only the technology is interacting, the doctor needs to interact. That is very very clear, which they have mentioned, and I think that is very very essential as well. So please note this point, and we all need to understand, and we all need to ensure that these are being followed at all the sites where we are listed. So these are the new technologies and can assist and support a doctor on patient evaluation, but they are not supposed to answer the entire queries the doctor need to answer. So the technology platform must ensure that there is a proper mechanism in place to address any queries or grievances that end customer may have. So that is again a very important point which we all need to understand. So there is a proper mechanism in place to address any queries or grievances And in case any specific technology platform is found in violation, CCIM may designate the technology platform as blacklisted. Very, very important point. So if we found, if like this council will found that this platform is not having compliance, or maybe they can first inform them to update. Otherwise, they can take an action, and the action will be uh, just a second. I think some doctor is. Yeah, so the action will be they will blacklist the portal. So that is very, very important. As I said, your entire efforts will go in vain. So please ensure that, and we will have a separate section discussing that. Now the second or maybe the last section of these guidelines are the second chapter of the today. Just a brief thing about the responsibilities of the council also. Now we all know that Central Council of Indian Medicine has been dissolved, and there is a board of governors, board of members are there, so who are taking care of the entire council. Council is there. See, many doctors are saying council is not there. Council is there. Only thing is the way of working they have changed. Only thing is the way of governing of that council they have changed. So that is the thing, and maybe the name has been changed, but technically the council and the office is there, and the regulations will be followed, maybe in the another name. So, as far as the government is concerned, any drugs listed like contained in these guidelines, they can modify that these drugs we can allow for online consultation. These drugs are not allowed. So they have kept that right on themselves that any point of time they can update, add or delete any drugs they want. Then in time to time they can issue necessary directions or advisories. We will have it detailed. We suppose that we will have a detailed maybe document. This is the first document they have released, but we may have a detailed version, or we may be having some detailed information after some time for the online process of registration. So that is and also time to time they can advise and direct any required information is there, and it can be amended also. By the way, telemedicine practice guidelines, this is the version 1 or the first release. So as soon as there will be new aspects which they feel that need to be added, so they can amend time to time as far as the guidelines are concerned. So these things they have kept on themselves, and accordingly we need to understand that, right? So here we have completed the entire chapters, and now there are some flowcharts which we need to review today. This is the first flowchart, and the process, actually I think all of us are already aware about the process, so I will not waste much time. My intention today is to take more and more queries, because this is the last session for all of you. So we'll be taking more and more queries today from all of you, so that we'll be able to resolve those queries in time. um, Otherwise, I'll just go through the flowchart and just go through the various aspects which are mentioned in this flowchart, which already all of you must be aware. We have discussed in the yesterday session as well the process, but let's quickly revise and let's quickly have this. And I request all of you, you can have printout of this flowchart, like I have already done that in my clinic. So the printout is there under my glass of the table of the table where I sit, and I see this multiple times, and now it is in back of my mind because the process has to be very, very clear, and the process we need to understand. Maximum things we are already following in terms of our clinical practice, but still there are certain things we need to understand. So now patient is doing a video, audio, and text. We have identified the patient, and consent is implied, means consent is understood that patient is we are not supposed to take a different consent. It's already there that patient has contacted us, we have established a call directly with the patient, so then it is actually absolutely fine. So in this aspect I want to convey one more thing. Many times what happens is we get a call from the patient, and either us as a doctor, or maybe of any of our staff, or I am listed to some online portal also. So they were uh, in one portal they were asking me, like they were sharing the number of the patient, they were asking me to call the patient. So I politely asked them to change the model. I asked them, see, all the patients which you are having, ask them to call me. I will not be calling them. That is one point we need to understand, that it has to be an incoming call or incoming communication. Many times what happens is, maybe I have missed the call. I was getting the call and I have missed the call. I was not able to take the call. So our mechanism is like, I am supported with my staff, with team members. So I forward them the number. They again call the person and they establish that this is the patient which needs to get consultation from me. So they ask them to again call me at a specific time. They allot them a time, and then I take their call and we do the consultation. Can be an audio, video, uh, or maybe text messages also if they want to start the communication in the WhatsApp. The point here I want to mention is, and you can do it with the help of your staff if you have the staff, or you can do it, or you can politely write them in that WhatsApp that please call me at this time, and they can call you. So the process is, always have incoming call, always have incoming call from the patient in terms of audio, video, or text uh, thing. Always ask them to approach you for the consultation, so that the consent will be implied, means they have contacted you, you have not contacted them, or you are not pushing them your consultation. That has to be there, because it is already mentioned in the guidelines also, that they have to contact you. So it has to be technically an incoming call from them to you. So that is very, very important aspect which we all need to understand, and accordingly we have to take it forward. Now we need to assess the emergency. I think we already discussed in details about this. So we have to just quickly check whether it is an emergency or not. If it is emergency, we have to refer them for with the first aid, and we'll guide them to referral. If it is not, then we do the detailed patient evaluation. We'll obtain the entire information, history, any additional information. We can switch the mode of communication, as we already discussed, that we can see some cases in video call if we need to see, and then we will establish that patient is appropriate for management via telemedicine or not. If yes, we will go for management. If not, we will provide them health education, and we'll ask them to come in the in-person consultation. If yes, then we will do the management like health education, counseling, and specific treatment. In case of treatment, like in case of telemedicine was done on video, we have to prescribe medicine. In fact, I will say in any mode, it's an audio, video, or text, whatever. Always prescribe medicines on a prescription. Always write a prescription and share that by scanning, or you can use the e-prescription. So this is the entire process. I think now all of us are well versed with this process, because this has been discussed so many times. So I request all of you to please understood this, and please follow this for all your online consultations. Now follow up consult. So that was the first consult, and now the second chart is talking about the follow up consult. Again, we have done the patient is doing either audio, video, or text. We have identified the patient. So we have to be checking this. And now there is one point. For example, in the first consultation, the same number or email ID, or maybe the ID like Skype ID or that kind of stuff, they are doing the same. They are doing the call from the same number or email ID in the follow-up consultation also. Then it is fine. We are not supposed to confirm again about the patient identification. But if they are doing from the different number or different email ID or different ID, we have to identify the patient again, and we will asking the name, age, address, email ID, or phone number in the details to identify this is the same person we have discussed and talked on the first consultation. So that is very important. And then again, the same process will continue in terms of consent that is understood. Then again, we will quickly assess the emergency if it is required or not. And if yes, we will refer. If no, then again, detailed patient evaluation will be done as per the improvement and as per the new aspects are there. Then we will decide that again we have to do the telemedicine management via telemedicine. If yes, we will proceed with the management. If no, we will do the health education and refer to in person. Many times in follow up, we have seen that after 1 month or 2 months, Ayurveda, only Ayurvedic medicine treatment is not working. We need to add Panchkarma or any other procedure. So then we will ask them to come into the setup, or maybe refer to the nearby setup if they are not in the local vicinity. So that kind of things are there. So we have to accordingly take it forward. And if yes, we can again do the health education, counseling, and treatment. If no, like if in yes, there is a new complaint in terms of a new spectrum of disease, then there will be a first consultation process will be repeated. So that we have discussed in the yesterday session as well, and this is the same in this as well. Now the third chart is talking about health worker and doctor. So health worker is there in their locality, in their community, and they are interacting with the patient. Okay, please post questions in the chat box. I will answer after the. I think I'm just completing this last slides, and we'll be taking up the questions today. So health worker and doctor, health worker will see the patient, will have the patient, and patient will be identified through again the same modes, and doctor and patient identify themselves. So health worker is just connecting the patient to the doctor, but again the communication and the direct interaction should be there between the doctor and the patient. So the process and the entire process is same. The only thing is here health worker is connecting the patient to the doctor. So these are the again same aspects as far as uh, the management is concerned, as I said. However, the only thing is the difference is health worker is connecting the doctor to the patient, and in the treatment aspect also, health worker will be involved, and they will be doing the they will be reinforcing the health education and counseling. Like when we were doing with the individual patient, we were only doing the health education and counseling, but here health worker will also be involved in the health education and counseling. So the first communication will be from the doctor, but they will be reinforcing, and they will be also checking the compliance. So that is very important, that whatever the medicines they are taking, they will be checking the compliance, and they will be providing the medicine also. Like in this context, the health worker will be providing the medicine also sometimes to the patient. So that is the difference, that in the identification step, they were connecting us, they were connecting the doctors, and in the management step, they are helping doctors to reinforce the health education and counseling, and they are also involved in the dispensing of the medicines. So these kind of aspects we need to understand as far as the health education worker or health worker is concerned. I think these were the three flowcharts are there in the guidelines. All of you must be aware about the PDF document which has been shared. So hereby we conclude the entire document as far as the telemedicine guidelines are concerned. And I again congratulate and appreciate all of you for your serious listening, and for daily attending this session at a early morning time of 6 a.m. Again, I repeat, please download our Android mobile application. As I said that we have some issues, so we are resolving, and by this week it will be resolved. Still, the issue is just only the profile, which is always advisable to be created on the website first. Along with that, you can update the profile as well, and you can have your email ID and this login ID and password. And then with the same login ID and password, you can just download our app and log in there. I think many of the doctors have already done that, and you will be getting the notification on the mobile app. That is one thing. Second is please subscribe to YouTube channel. You will be getting certain videos there, and also like our page. And okay, so lots of questions today. I will take one by one. So like our Facebook page, that is Indian Vaidya, and please follow that as well. We have several events lying this week in terms of general webinars are concerned. We are very much pleased and happy to inform you that our state Uttar Pradesh Ayush Minister will be there in one event as a chief guest. I think this is on Wednesday. Then we have again the Swan Prashan CME from Dabar on Thursday, in which the team from KGMU, King George Medical University, Lucknow, they are the pioneers in Swanprashan research. They are the only institution in North India who has done clinical trial and evidence-based research on Swanprashan. So we are very happy and pleased to inform all of you that we will have those with us on most probably on Thursday. Uh, we keep on updating you for all the events. So that's why I'm saying that if you are on Facebook, It's better to get updated. However, as now mobile application is there, so we'll be updating you through mobile application also. Any feedback, any issue, please let us know. Please write to us on this email ID. If you are still not in the Indian Vaidya's WhatsApp group, please message me. Please WhatsApp me on the number which is reflected on the screen. That is 9267920012. I will share the link of the WhatsApp group with all of you. So please do that. Now let's start taking the questions as well. Okay, so the first question Dr. Ipsita is asking that in chapter 3 there is a point to give a receipt invoice for the fee charged. How to give the receipt? Please let me know. Right. So, Dr. Ipsita, there are certain websites, there are certain online tools which are available in which you can generate a template or create a receipt invoice. If you Google it, you will get that. So, if you are in the purview of GST, means your turnover is more than 20 lakhs in a year, you have to get the GST number and you have to issue that tax invoice. But if you are not in that range right now, you are exempted as a doctor and you can issue a general receipt as far as the consultation is concerned. Many times we have writing on the prescription also that many patients are like I'm dealing are in the corporate or in the companies, so they have to claim that amount from their company. So they ask us to write on the prescription only thank you for submitting or like we have received rupees 500 as consultation fee with my name, signatures, and official stamp. So that is the requirement in some companies. So we are doing that as well. So as per the requirement and as per the dynamics, you can do, and there are so many templates available online. If still you are not able to get that, please email to us. Our team will be sharing with you. Okay, so many doctors are saying how to get connected with pharma companies. So I request all of you to please email or WhatsApp on the number which is mentioned. So you can either email us or you can WhatsApp WhatsApp me personally. I will connect you to the pharma companies. Our team is also there. They will help you in connecting them. If any specific pharma company, do let us know. But if in general, you can write and we will ask the company representatives to call you. Yes, as I already explained that only this thing we have not publicly displayed at the time of sign up and at the time of display. We will have this also mandatory. Apart from this, we have all the other aspects as far as the CCIM guidelines is concerned. So we will soon updating this registration number. Maybe by today, I have already written to my website developer. So maybe by today afternoon or evening, it will be updated in our website as well. Otherwise, the all other aspects are compliant and we are there. So yes, that is fine. So registration number will column will be updated soon. Yes, so I think they will inform. There is a question from Dr. Gyanendra that will Board of Governors inform the doctors before. First of all, let me clarify. They will not be blacklisting the doctors. They will be blacklisting the website. That is point number one. So they have clearly written that these websites or the mobile applications who are not in compliance with the guidelines will be blacklisted. So, and I don't think so. They will do in the first step. First, they will inform them when they start the active process of online registration examination. So they may be informing them first and then they will be doing that. However, if we are like, for example, if portals like us, if I can say that if we are serious in the business, we all have this responsibility to update ourselves. These guidelines are in public domain like now for more than 1 month as well. So I don't think so people are not aware about this. I was also aware, but I've just realized this specific aspect when I was reading today morning. I have read so many times in past also these guidelines, but sometimes a continuous learning for all of us, so we are also doing that. So I don't think so it's a process of uh, improvement, and maybe they have to issue one notification first that these are the lacunas. We will also do this exercise and we also review all the websites, and we'll also release them an official letter from our letterhead, and we'll also inform them. So let's see how the process will go, right? Okay, now Dr. Sudha is asking one point that I thought a list of disease made that we treated through telemedicine. Okay, you can display whatever the disease you are specifically in, and you can do that. I don't think so that is an issue. Now, Dr. Reena is asking, sir, before starting the conversation with patient, do you ask your staff to have consultation charges deposit and then start means how you are starting the whole thing? Very important question and very good question, by the way, Dr. Reena. And we have already explained, by the way, this point, I think, in the day before yesterday session. So, yes, we always ensure that, first of all, we get the amount. We never do a post-paid consultation. I let me clarify in that way. We never do a post-paid consultation. We always do a prepaid consultation. We have learned from our experience in past, and again, as I said, these consultations, especially in Ayurveda, the society, the mindset is a bit casual. Let me clarify in that way, because see what happens is when we see that. Let me quote a simple example. Can you eat a pizza? Can you eat a pizza and then the company can allow you to pay? No, na. So you have to first pay for the pizza, and you will get the pizza, and then you can eat that. It's so simple, I think. So if you can't eat a pizza without paying, how you can take a consultation without paying? So that is very simple point which we need to understand, and accordingly we need to follow this practice. So politely just ask all the patients and all the people who are approaching you, uh, like we are doing in WhatsApp, we are sending them our Paytm details, our UPI ID, and our account details as well. Because 500 is a small amount. Generally, many people are doing just a Paytm or a UPI transfer these days to their mobile. Maximum of them are having mobile apps, PayUmoney and Google Pay, these kind of stuff. Some are also doing the transferring account, so that is fine. So my staff immediately send them, and initially when I started alone and there was no staff, I also used to send them on WhatsApp personally, and whosoever was interested, they were doing the deposit, and then we were taking the consultation. There will be many patients or many people who will be asking for free consultation or general discussion prior to start the treatment. General discussion is fine if they have any doubt, but one-to-one consultation we never do without the payment. That is our model, and you can accordingly take it forward. Right. So, Dr. Tanima Singhal, maximum I will try to announce the session. Actually, there are multiple sessions planned, and as per our ability. And see, personally, let me clarify to all of you, the entire project is self-funded till now, with my personal savings and my personal investments. And the only thing, the bread and butter is the clinic which we have. So there are some aspects and some challenges, because now clinic has also started and we are getting more and more online queries and online things. So we have to invest in that time, and the entire fund being generated from the clinic, the part of that, the share of that will be invested in Indian weather also. Now, this is again the only thing which we have right now. I have to be very honest and very transparent in that sense. So sometimes it's a challenge, but yes, we will try to have this session as soon as possible. We are working on that, and by today evening, maximum, you all will get update. So this is again a bit lengthy session which we are planning. In one session at a stretch, we are planning to have the top websites, the best softwares, some aspects on digital marketing, and the entire blueprint on virtual clinic. Also, there will be one section in which you can create your own site and you can create your own virtual clinic, and how to do that, we will have that as well. So the entire thing we will try to at least wrap up in a couple of hour session, two and a half, 2.5 hour session we are planning. So that will be a single one session at a stretch, and you all will get updated of that. So please wait for today evening, and we will share the update with all of you. Health worker means the staff, the paramedical staff, the pharma staff, nursing staff, All these are health worker, Dr. Reena. So I think, but they have not clarified the qualification. So maybe in the further amendment or further detailed document, they will qualify. Right now, we have implemented the software. Dr. Tanima is asking, do you use any data entry software? Staff does the entry work personally. So right now, we have implemented the software. Uh, we have to get it fully functional. We have some challenges, but we are getting there, and we already have that software, and we already have a virtual clinic. I will send all the details, and I will discuss all the details in the session which we are planning. Just wait for some time. Health education worker, I think we have already discussed. Dr. Reena, can you specifically say that which notification you are talking about? So, in which context the notification, the discussion was there? I'm not clear about your question. So maybe you can specify that. Dr. Minakshi, you have asked about the name of pioneer in Swanprashan. So, as per my information, Dr. Abhay is there, and the Vice Chancellor of KGMU Lucknow will be there. They both will be there in the session, and I think Dr. Abhay has done a lot as per my update, and the entire team of KGMU has done tremendous work on Swanprashan. So those will be there, and I will again send the details. We'll be updating about this session again by today evening, so we'll be getting the details on that. So for WhatsApp group, I request all of you to drop a WhatsApp message on the number which is mentioned in the slide. Please save this number and drop a message to us. Dr. Nidhi, as I said that in mobile application, the updation is a bit issue right now. Our team is working. So I request all of you, if any kind of update you want to do, please do on the website. Please do on the website, and then maybe you can have the better profiling updates, and accordingly you can take it forward. So please do on the website as far as all the updates are concerned, and then you can maybe use the website. We are working on that thing, and by this week we will resolve. So don't worry. Dr. Tanima Singhal, your question is why KGMU is doing research on Swanprashan, but not State Ayurvedic College Lucknow, where Dabur is not. See, Dabur is not. Dabur does not have any issue. If State Ayurveda College Lucknow wants to do, they can do. The point is in KGMU or many other allopathic setups I have seen, the problem is the infrastructure. The problem is the know-how, the experience of doing clinical research. That's why we are emphasizing. And by the way, we will be launching another GCP session also. Let me inform all of you the good clinical practice. We have done 2 sessions in past. So we will have the third session because we are getting so many updates now to have another session of GCP. Many doctors miss those sessions, or maybe they have been referred from the existing participants. So we are announcing that also by today. So see what happens is in Ayurveda, many people are not still aware and not experienced. They are not trained on GCP and all. So that's why sometimes or many times people are doing, organizations are doing studies in other allopathic hospitals. However, now it is mandatory, whatever the institution, be it allopathic or Ayurvedic, an Ayurveda doctor has to be there in the team. So that is the mandate as per the GCP ASU is concerned, and all of you are aware. So I don't think so there will be any issue unless or until there is an Ayurveda doctor in the team. So I think that is fine. The research should be going on. Okay, so Dr. Minakshi, you can be connected to the pharma companies. Just write to us on the email or the mobile number you are seeing right now on your slides, on your screen. The mobile number and email ID is there. I request again and again to all of you to save this number. Just write us and we will be connecting you to the pharma companies. Okay, so Dr. Gyanendra is having one issue that if I am getting good business from one site which is not compliant, I may not like to delete my account there. No problem, you can continue with that site, Dr. Gyanendra. It's perfectly fine. However, just imagine one day that site has been blacklisted and site has been blocked, and your entire business will go on toss. Your entire business is risk. And what is business, by the way? See, your profile is there. You are building a reputation with the patients, and you are getting good and more patients. So now, if your profile has been deleted because the entire website has been blocked, what you will do? your entire business will go on toss, and your investment and your profiling will also go on toss. So what happens is these sites are functional right now, and as due to lack of guidelines and lack of law, they were doing whatever they want to do, but they will not be doing now. So they have to follow the guidelines, and all of the doctors, we are all wise and mature. So it's a long term. If you see in the long term aspect, these short term gains will not help be sustained. And so my advice is, yes, you can maybe continue for the short term gain, but in long term perspective, this is not advisable. And only focus on those sites who are compliant, so that your business will grow multifold. Like for example, let me quote one example here to give you more understanding. Our listing criteria is reviews. The more reviews the doctor will have, the better listing you have on our website. And same, many sites are following. Maybe they have some paid aspects as well, or some other aspects as well. Maybe if some doctor is buying more products, as I know about couple of platforms, mobile applications and websites, what they do is the doctor who is buying more product from there, they push that doctor and that listing more. The doctor who is buying less products from them, they have listing at the bottom or at the end. Or maybe some doctor is not buying product, they have the listing at the end. So again, in digital marketing space, the top listings always get more leads. So they are doing that, and but by the way, whenever they will be blocked, the entire your listing will go on toss. And if you build up a good reviews and good profile on that site, and you have invested your time and money also, um, it is a waste of I can say efforts. So please avoid that for a short term aspect. In long term, always now focus on the compliant sites, as we have the regulation document now. Very good question from Dr. Sri Lakshmi. For single patient, how many times we can charge consultation fee per year? So it's not about per year, Dr. Sri Lakshmi, by the way. It is as per the visits, as per the, see, many of my patients are visiting me every 15 days. After every 15 days, they are visiting me from last 6 months, because their disease is like that. So I have to charge every time. Simple. And many patients are taking medicines for at least 1 month or 2 to 3 months at a stretch. They need to take medicines. So then whenever they are contacting me again, then they will be charging. Many patients are getting healed or cured. Like renal calculi cases, we generally cure and heal and extract the renal calculi with medicines within few days and maybe few weeks if the size is a bit more. So they are not supposed to then continue, and they are relieved, then they are fine, then they are not coming to us and they are not paying. So it depends on patient to patient and how the aspects are going on with a particular patient, and accordingly we need to take it forward, right? Dr. Tanima Singhal is asking, kindly conduct session on gynecological infertility. Yes, yes. So, see, I will be focusing on some clinical aspects as well. And in fact, we will be very much happy to have you for one lactation session, as you are focused on lactation aspects, and you are also dealing in gynecological problems. So, we will have these kind of sessions now more and more. Actually, what happens is there is a so many webinars are going on these days. So sometimes we are getting this feedback that many doctors are now saturated, and now clinics are also getting opened. People are also going back to their jobs to work and all. So sometimes we are confused and we are still deciding on a blueprint. But yes, we will have regular sessions. And thanks to all of you, the feedback till now we are getting for all the Indian Vaidya sessions, whether it was from us or whether we got associated with any webinar organizer. So till now, the feedback and the overall sessions which we have done, we are getting a very good feedback. So we'll be continuing, by the way, we are not stopping, we will be continuing, but the frequency will be a bit less, so that everyone can get involved there on their work as well, and they can get some time to attend these kind of sessions also. But yes, we need your feedback and we need your thoughts on this, and accordingly we can take it forward. So let me ask one question, and uh, I think all of you are finding good all the sessions which we are involved, we are conducting directly, or maybe we are involved as a digital partner. So I think we are trying to maintain quality. Our protocol is always we speak to the speakers, always we ask them to focus on the practical aspects and to focus on those aspects which a private practitioner, predominantly we have a network of private practitioner, or a clinician in a government setup, or students like interns or PGs, will understand and will get a practical aspect. So our protocol is we always talk to the speakers. We don't bother whether he is a very senior, he or she is a very senior person, but politely we just explain that our aspect is this, with due respect to whatever their experience, age, and qualification. We always politely explain our protocol and our modus operandi and our objective, because we have to be a differentiator in this. So there are so many sessions are going on, and we respect all the platforms, we respect all the knowledge sharing platforms, but we are not an academic platform. By the way, let me clarify you. So there are some mobile apps. There is one specific mobile app. They are very much focused on academic. They are very good in academic. Mostly their followers are students or young, fresh graduates. But our model is different. We have private practitioners. So, with due respect to the academics, we always focus on the clinical and practical aspects. So, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that, Dr. Singhal. Okay, so see, list of medicine is not provided. They have said that in the this narcotic thing that which dravyas are not uh, supposed to be prescribed in the telemedicine mode. All the other medicines we can prescribe. So that is the clarification of the question, Dr. Minakshi. Right, Dr. Swati Jaiswal, thanks for this. See, this is the irony that people eat pizza. People like. By the way, nobody will allow that you can just watch the complete feature film, and after if you like the film, if you like the movie, then you can pay the ticket amount. If you don't like the movie, you are exempted for the ticket amount. Another example for that. Uh, I keep on saying to casually to my some maybe staff or some like those non-compliant patients also. I politely say to them, maybe I'm rude, but I have to maintain this kind of attitude, and I request all of you to maintain this. So sometimes I say to my patient, boss, whenever you are going to a movie hall, just identify one movie hall for me. I would like to go there, where I will just watch the movie first. If I really like the movie, then I will pay the ticket. If I don't like the movie, I will not pay the ticket. Is it possible? No. So then why you are thinking and why you are supposing? Okay, doctor, sir, if we understand, if we like many patients are keep on saying that if we really want to take your treatment, we will take, but first give us the consultation. Or first listen our case and provide us the treatment. Or by the way, many patients are saying, "Look, first listen our problem and just let us know that Ayurveda will be able to help you or not." I don't have that bloody time. Sorry, I have to use these words. I don't have that plenty of time in my own life. I can spend that time with my kids. That is a better option for me. With due respect to all the people with their suffering. So see, I'm a professional. I'm a hardcore private practitioner, and you have to get it clear in your minds. And the same communication you all need to establish with your patient. Sorry, I will not listen a single issue unless or until you will first pay my consultation, and then I will take seriously, and then I will talk with you, and I will listen each and everything with full focus, full patience. I will spend a good quality time in listening you, and I will take your issue. So the same thing I want all the Ayurveda doctors here to follow, because this is the mindset which you need to break out. This is the mindset which you need to hit. We are not available free. We are not available just to listen all of you. We are available once you will pay our cost. Once you will pay our fee, we will listen you. We will provide you the best possible treatment. We will ensure you get healed with a very minimum cost as compared to other surgical interventions and all, if it is possible. So these kind of things are available. But yes, we have to be there as per this attitude is concerned, and that is there. So I keep on telling this to patients, and they again laugh, and then first then pay, and then they understand my point. So that is very very important, and you have to sometimes make fun out of this to let them understand about the issue. Okay, Dr. Minakshi, we are not supposed to create any list for the blacklisting. That council will do, that government will do. We can just share our advice, we can just share our aspects in that. Yes, Dr. Chaitanya, we will have a separate session of telemedicine software portals. I already informed all of you. Please wait, maybe by today evening, we will announce that. We will definitely announce that. Uh, okay. So, Dr. Reena, the last two sessions, the entire, all the 5 sessions we have recorded, and you will get all the sessions on the mobile app video section, on our website video section, and on YouTube channel of Indian Vaidyas. You will get all the 5 sessions by today afternoon. Maximum, we will update all the 5 sessions, and you will get the information about that. Yes, so you will have all the morning sessions there. Please click and please visit our YouTube channel and for the video section of our mobile app and website. Dr. Minakshi, sorry to share this information. We are apologize if there is any delay. If you have attended the GCP session, we have already issued all the participants, all the certificates to all the GCP attendants. If you still are struggling with that, please write an email to us. Maybe my team has missed that. I apologize on that behalf. So please write an email to us. I will ask my team to share that certificate. Uh, I think okay, 1 or 2 candidates are required. So you all be getting the certificate by today. We apologize for this delay. As per my information, my team has updated me. They have issued all the certificates. But if still any certificate is remaining, we will do that by today. I request all of you who have just waiting for the certificate, please write an email to us. We will do that. Yes, Dr. Sudha Sharma, if you are making your own medicine, composition mentioned is necessary. It's required. Dr. Tanima, very important point. How do you plan the fee when patient is on a chronic disease and just need to take medicine without consultation? See, on all the chronic patient, we follow a monthly follow-up thing. I always ask all the chronic disease treatment patient that at least once in a month you need to be in contact with me, either visit my clinic or establish a call. So if it is an in-person consultation or a telephonic consultation, the point is monthly they have to pay at least one time for my fee, so that the entire month will be taken care of in terms of their follow-up, in terms of their issue, in terms of the compliance. They will be discussed, the progression, the report sharing. These kind of all follow-ups will be there. So monthly follow-up should always be there with all the patients, which we recommend, and we follow this practice. Thank you, Dr. Reena, for the compliment. We are just trying to ensure that all of you have your precious time, and if you are spending in any of our event, you must get some value addition, not just another reading of books or that text thing. We always ensure that you get a value addition in your knowledge, in your practical knowledge. So that is our simple effort. Yes, Dr. Saroj, we will be doing on these aspects like Agnikaram, Jaloka, and these kind of stuff. We'll be doing sessions on these as well. Yes, I absolutely right. Agree with you, Dr. Reena, that we all Ayurvedacharyas have very good knowledge, but we are lacking this approach. So we are, as a team, should try to develop and propagate this now. I absolutely agree. Dr. Munish Sharma, is there any guidelines regarding dispensing of medicines for patient? There is no guideline, but when we do this, there is a mechanism of dispensing and all. If you want to understand, we will do that in the that session only. But there is no guidelines right now as far as the dispensing is concerned. I agree with you, Dr. Saroj, that money is the hidden in the procedure, but sometimes we have to be communicating with them. We have to be very clear because society always take advantage. So we have to be clear. Thank you, Dr. Rajkumar. If you want to do a Manch Chikitsa session, we can plan with you. We will be in touch with you. Thank you so much for your input. Yes, if we are preparing some medicine and dispensing, as an Ayurveda doctor, we don't need any further license if we are doing just for our patients. But if we are doing for a marketing purpose, we are launching our products and we are asking other doctors also to prescribe, then we need the license and manufacturing thing and all documents. So let me clarify. The question was, if we are preparing some medicine and dispensing, do we need to take some permission or license? As I said, if we are doing it for our patients, no additional license is required. As an Ayurveda doctor, we all can do. But yes, if we are doing for other doctors or we are launching it in market, we have to do that. Yes, we will do Panchkarma soon. We get some queries on that, so we will do Panchkarma soon. Yes, cardiology CMB will be uploading. There were some issues with that video. We'll be uploading soon. Yes, Dr. Kailash, you will be getting the update for GCP session. Hope you are there in our group. So you'll be getting, hope you are there in the WhatsApp group. So you'll be getting the update about GCP session. We'll be launching the next session today. So please add yourself in any WhatsApp group. You'll be getting that. Thank you so much for your feedback. I am able to help all of you. I'm able to like share my experiences with you. You all are there. You all are our support. So thank you so much. I think most of the queries have been answered today, and I really enjoyed all these sessions with all of you. Thank you so much for being with us for all these sessions. GCP is good clinical practices. It is required for clinical research. And if you want to know more, you can just write us or WhatsApp us. We will send you the details. Right. So I think we are almost done now. All the queries I have been like seeing. There is no much query left now. So my final request to all of you is please share your feedback. I again request, and I have not seen all of you posting your feedbacks. The one important section is in our Facebook page, that is the review section. Not as a visitor post, not as a comment. Please feed, please submit your feedback in general about the entire Indian Vadyas concept in the review section of Facebook. That is very important to build up more and more community and strength of all the doctors. So I request all of you, please share your feedback in the, as now you have completed these 5 sessions also, you can write about these telemedicine sessions also, and in general about Indian Vadyas. Also, please subscribe our YouTube channel, and in any video, if you like, if you really like the video, also share your comment in the video. If you really like, if you don't like, also let us know the negative. See, we always welcome the negative feedbacks also. We always welcome the improvement scope also. Like there is some delay in the certification, which I agree, due to lack of resources and due to huge response. We are lacking on that. I agree with that. That is our learning. This mobile application issue of profile updating and these challenges are there. That is our learning, and we are working on that. So we always consider to for the improvement. We are not saying that we are the perfect or the best one. We are always learning and improving. So the feedback, the criticism, and the negative aspect, we always welcome and we always appreciate that if you are sharing. However, there is one request prior to posting publicly. Please write to us one to one. If we are able to resolve, then accordingly take it. If we are not able to resolve, you are free to post publicly as well. That is fine. So that is one small request which we need to establish with all of you, because see, as I said, we are not right now having huge investments, or we are not right now having huge infrastructure. This is just a basic startup on a personal level, but we will be growing and we will be turning out into a professional organization where the entire team will be handling the aspects. Right now, we have a small core team, and I thank to all my core team members, Dr. Preeti Bhosle, Dr. Pinky, Ved Madhav, then Dr. Singhal is there. So many doctors are there. So I thank all of you for that support. So we will be growing and we will be having the professional setup, but till that time, please have some patience and please absorb our these issues, which like some delays and all. We will try to improvise on that. So always negative comments are welcome, and but please support us in terms of motivation factors are there. Now there is one important question I am seeing about the certification of these telemedicine session. First of all, let me clarify to all of you, and sorry to say this, you all will not be getting certification for attending the session. You will be getting certification after clearing the evaluation, after clearing the questionnaire. So there is a questionnaire we have finalized, and by tomorrow we will be releasing that. We are just giving you today's day also to revise and to show, like see all the videos. From tomorrow onwards, the questionnaire will be released. You have to attempt that questionnaire, and any doctor who is having more than 80% will be clearing that questionnaire, will be getting the certificate. Less than 80%, you have to attempt again. So my simple request to all of you, this entire exercise has been done to enable that all of you will be able to clear the registration exam that will be announced by after some time. So please attempt that questionnaire and try to first of all see all the videos again, try to revise your guidelines, and then you will be able to attempt that questionnaire easily. And whosoever doctor will be clearing that questionnaire, will be passing that questionnaire, will be getting the certificate, a certified telemedicine professional. It's an autonomous certificate, nothing to do with the council certification. We are not related with them, we are just facilitating all of you. So you'll be getting that after clarifying the questionnaire, right? So I think we are done with the session today, and I again thank all of you for your precious time. Have a great week ahead. This is a lovely Monday morning, and again, first of all, let me uh, have like share my wishes and my this thing that today is Eid. So Eid Mubarak to all of you, and all the best for your journey. We have just started as far as online sessions are concerned, online consultations are concerned. We'll be always there for help you to support you in any step. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good day.